Art and Schwab here. Just an overview update after almost 3 years since my preliminary overview of the global worksheet slash 3x3 global drills. In the almost 3 years, I taught 1 year international relations at the undergraduate level in Mexico, where my partner lives, and I've been traveling back and forth, trying to get settled. But I've more or less decided to go ahead with this YouTube project and give a series of short updates based on the agenda that's outlined in that first video from December 2014. So I invite you to go back and look at that from the perspective of of what has happened since December 2014, and see if it stands the test of time, even short time, in your mind. And I will be keeping the comments line open, but I invite you to go back to that baseline December 2014 overview of the global worksheet, just to familiarize yourself with the agenda or the problem set that I have on the back of that, on that second sheet of the global worksheet, that for which the little grid, the 9-point grid, is used. So again, I just want to reiterate the point that while I may be accused of being a globalist, I think that's just the point. I feel that the people of our integrating world need to reclaim globalism from elites, and so I would call myself a global populist in the sense that global identities, or to the degree we have a global common identity, that's obviously encompassing our particular identities throughout, across and around the world. Synergy, e pluribus unum, however you want to say it, teamwork. Those are non-elite ideas. So I would say resist those who claim to be anti-globalist, because they're not necessarily for anything. Even taking down the Federal Reserve System, what's the replacement? Going back to the gold standard of some kind? I think we can be more creative than that, and so that's another major theme of these global worksheet outlines, and I'll be experimenting with the form of delivery, on the form of presentation on that, and I'd like to hope, based on your feedback, so feel free to give that, and I'll accommodate to the best I can. That's about it. I would go ahead. Another reason I'd like to take another look at that my 2014 overview is to look at my last little summary or introduction to the idea of alternative global currency. It's really not the Bitcoin idea, which is just an imitation of the current status quo. So that's where I'm different on that as well. I believe in the principle of abundance, which I'll describe later in other videos. But basically along the principles of Nikola Tesla, that we don't have to structure our economies around a false notion of material scarcity. Rather, because we should be able to use our technology to harness universal abundance of energy. Again, this is also Buckminster Fuller's influence on my thinking. We should be able to have an economic system that allows for the reality of of universal energy abundance, practically, for our purposes at least, rather than hamstringing our technological capability by having an artificial economic system based on the artificial mental construct of material scarcity. So that colors a lot of what I'll be outlining. So the idea is to create many different videos, short videos, which will explain, so you can bounce around the different videos and get a better sense for yourself at your own pace, in your own way, of what I'm trying to suggest. And by the way, my intended audience literally is, citizens of all nations, government officials, agency officials, of all current nations, not trying to abolish the nation state, just trying to not let the nation state constrain our creativity in the face of overwhelming, seemingly common threats to our existence on Earth. And so that's how I get to why I believe space exploration is so important, not for national prestige, but for human survival. And divisions of labor follow from that, which you'll see in other posts. Enough for now. See you later. Take care.